Hi everybody, this video is called Rationalizing the Denominator. If you do not already have your Unit 7 notes out with you, please take them out right now and follow along. All right, so what we're going to do here first is we are going to rationalize the denominator. The rule is you are not allowed to have a radical in the denominator. So the way that we're going to go ahead and take care of that is by multiplying rad 3 to the top and to the bottom. So when I multiply rad 3 to the top and to the bottom here, I'm going to multiply straight across. So I'm going to get 5 rad 3 over rad 3 times rad 3, which is going to give me radical 9. And then when I simplify, I'm going to get 5 rad 3 over the square root of 9, which is 3. So hopefully you noticed by multiplying the radical by itself, it becomes a perfect square, which then you can take the square root of, and it's no longer out of radical. So let's go ahead and try that one with number 3. So again, you want to start by multiplying rad 12 to the top and to the bottom. So when I multiply straight across here, I'm going to get 12 rad 12 over the square root of 144, which again, remember, when you multiply the radical by itself, it's just going to become 12. The square root of 144 is 12. So now I can simplify the 12 in the numerator with the 12 in the denominator. So I'm left with rad 12. But you always need to make sure that your radical is fully simplified. And right now it isn't. Rad 12 has a perfect square factor. So I want to think of it as rad 4 times 3. I can take the square root of 4, which is going to give me 2 rad 3. So this is your final fully simplified answer. Okay, pause the video right now and try numbers 2 and 4. Okay, so go ahead and check your answers on the work for numbers 2 and 4, and hopefully we got the same answers. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 5. So when we're looking at number 5, again, we need to start by multiplying rad 3 to the top and the bottom. And this time, I'm not going to write out rad 9 on the bottom because now hopefully we've all realized the shortcut. When you multiply the radical by itself, it becomes itself. So here on the numerator, when I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 4x rad 3. And on the bottom, I already know rad 3 times rad 3 is rad 9, which is just going to simplify to 3. So my final answer, there's nothing to reduce on the top and the bottom. Remember, you cannot reduce rad 3 and 3 because rad 3 is underneath the radical, whereas 3 is outside of the radical, so they're not considered like radicals. All right, let's go ahead and try number 7. I'm going to multiply rad 7 to the top and to the bottom. Now with number 7, rad 3 is underneath radical. So when I multiply straight across, I'm going to get rad 21x. And again, on the bottom, I'm going to take that shortcut. I know rad 7x times rad 7x would give me 49x squared. And I know the square roots of 49x squared is just going to be 7x. Now remember, rad 21x and 7x are not like radicals because 7x is not underneath the radical and 21x is. So I cannot simplify them. So there's my answer. All right, so what I'm going to do here with number 9 is I'm going to multiply rad 9x to the top and to the bottom. So when I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 3 rad 18x over, remember, 9x, rad 9x times rad 9x is the square root of 81x squared, which is just going to simplify to 9x. But so now what I can do is I can reduce this 3 and this 9 in the numerator and the denominator because they're not underneath the radical. So this is going to give me rad 18x over 3x. And remember, we always have to check and to see if our answer is fully simplified. Well, rad 18x is not fully simplified. 18 has a perfect square factor. So you want to think of this as rad 9 times 2 times x over 3x. And remember, the square root of 9 is going to come out of radical and give you 3 rad 2x over 3x. which means these 3's are going to reduce. So your final answer is going to be the square root of 2x over x. All right, so why don't you pause the video and you try all the even problems that we haven't done, and then go ahead and check your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and check your answers for number 6, 8, and 10. And remember, with number 10, you have to make sure it's fully simplified. So always see if the radical can be simplified again. All right, if you have any questions, please send me an email. Thank you for watching.